Good morning, garden friends. I hope you are having a wonderful day. This is such a gorgeous July day. We've actually had some pretty cool temperatures the last couple days, and it made working out here a little bit more pleasant. At least I could do it for longer without getting too hot. I've been trying to get my irrigation in, and I've been doing it a little bit at a time. I've got a lot going on, and I will have to say, when you're putting in a garden, do the irrigation part first. It just would be so much easier if I didn't have to go around plants. I did have soaker hoses in, and now I'm putting drip in. So I did have something in place, but now I'm changing it because those soaker hoses were like 15 years old and they were toast. So it was time to replace them, and now I'm putting in soaker hoses. I had gotten some from Home Depot. It's called the Dig brand, D-I-G. Really liked them. And then I got another section of hose from Lowe's. I don't like the quality as well. So I need to get some more of the Dig brand from Home Depot. And hopefully they haven't changed the quality. Sometimes that happens, or the quality goes down, though the price doesn't. Anyways, I will use the Lowe's one because I've already got it installed and all of that. But it just seems like the Dig one was a better quality. I don't know. I'll get some fresh or a new batch of the hose, and I'll let you know. Now, this is the one that has the drip built in, and it's every 12 inches. So I'm laying them out in my garden where plants will get watered. You know, in California, we are in a severe drought. So getting the drip system in will help save water, as well as we're putting in a gray water system so we can use the water from our showers and stuff. I just have to get the filtration system down. So let's take a tour of the front garden, and I'll show you what's blooming so beautifully here at the beginning of July, what I've gotten done, and what more I need to do. There's still lots more to do. So this is going to take me all summer, I'm sure, but it's going to be beautiful. So let's get rolling. I can't remember where we started last time, but here is the sidewalk. That galvanized tub is going to be moved. I just had moved it away from a section I was digging out. But as you can still see my hose above ground. I haven't mulched yet. I'm getting it all laid out. This section over here is not plugged into any water outlet yet. That's just getting laid out. But I wanted to share this section first. And there's the bench I put in, and the, the fringe flower tree standard. I'm not sure. It gets awful scorched there, so I may need to move it or somewhere where it gets a little more afternoon shade, or it just may need to get used to the sun. I'm not sure. But let's start at that end and work our way back and show you all the plantings I got going on. So this is the path. These chimney pieces are going to be taken out. I just have to take an afternoon or morning and do that. Look at this. I got this at Annie's Annuals. Isn't this gorgeous? And I got to remember the name of it. It's a Verbascum, but there's a particular color name. Let's see, let me put my glasses on. Oh, wait a minute, Verbascum. This is Southern Charm. And isn't that a gorgeous color? Sorry, I'm wiggly. And I put a dahlia back here. I'm hoping the gophers leave it alone. The daisy back there is a volunteer. I have a Japanese maple here. I was thinking of planting it here, but I'm not sure about that. And some feverfew that volunteers. I let it go wherever it wants to, and then I just edit it out from time to time. Over here is an oak leaf hydrangea. You see the divot in the ground? I think that's from gophers. I may need to dig this up and put it in a cage and protect it. So that one is going to be really pretty. It's supposed to get like 4 feet tall, so it'll provide a nice backdrop here. The fringe flower, another dahlia. The dahlias usually get pretty tall. They're just not they're getting going. But like I said, we've had warm, hot, cold. You know, it just changes around here. This is Rose Campion, but this is the white one, the white with the pink. You can see how pretty that is. Down here I put the Lollipop Verbena bonaerensis. This one stays real short. It doesn't get tall. I just put this in the ground yesterday, so it needs to recover. And behind it I have an Aglaia daisy. That's a real fluffy daisy, and it's getting ready to bloom. Now I've got a tansy down here. This is a nice vintage flower. I got this at Annie's Annuals, and that has white daisy-like flowers too, and that gets pretty tall, like 2 or 3 feet. And here I put some Veronica. These are Gaillardias, and they are blanket flower. They bloom all summer long, and they reseed themselves. I edited out a bunch because this was just filled as I weeded this bed. I have some, this is some Echinacea, Cheyenne Sky, I think Cheyenne Mix something. Anyways, they're a mix of oranges, yellows, and reds. So hopefully I'll get a little bit of each. There's 3 I planted in a grouping there. More of the Gaillardias. I have seeded some zinnias in here. We'll see how well they do. Last year I seeded zinnias in July. They did great, but there's always a but, right? I'll show you the other side in a second, and I'll tell you more about what's happening. There's some more weeds. This section hasn't gotten taken care of yet, so I'm, like I said, making slow progress. So there's this section. Let's turn around. I'll try to do it slowly. Over here is where I had seeded some zinnias. They came up, and well, here's one. I had a bunch come up, and as you can see back there by the hose, they look eaten. And so bugs have been eating them, and I finally discovered what it was. It is roly-polies. I didn't think roly-polies ate plants. I thought it was only dead plant matter, but it has been the roly-polies. Over here is a short Menarda. This is a Proven Winners. Now, my other Menarda always gets like 3 to 4 feet tall, very big. Let me see what this one is. Pardon my purple. So it's supposed to stay 10 to 12 inches, which I thought would be a perfect spot right here for it, because I sit right here on my bench, and I wanted something shorter towards the front of this border. But look at this. There's some Achillea, and that's the nice pretty pink shades. Back there I put, that's a Miss Molly butterfly bush, and it's just getting established because it's just getting put in there. And back there, I don't know if you can see it, is a Jasmina Rose. Let me step up there really quick. And this is a climber, and you might wonder why I put it behind this big rose, but it's going to grow up this post, hopefully. And then I'm going to put a beam across and then have it climb across that. But look at this color. It has just been phenomenal. Just gorgeous. And it's doing so well. Just from the start of planting it. I got that from Heirloom Roses. They have beautiful roses. And what I love about them is they're all own root. And that helps here because plants could die. I'm sorry. I'm trying to step down without killing myself. Here is a Valerian, Silene, which is also red campion, which is a heirloom flower. That does well here. So that will be beautiful there. It just got planted. I have some in the back. I did some petunias here. These are where I found the pill bugs were eating, the sow bugs, the roly-polies. And so I had to sprinkle. The white stuff is called New Saturday Lime, and it's a deterrent. It works really well for ants. I was hoping it would work well on the sow bugs or the pill bugs, and it seems to be doing the trick. Okay, here's a black-eyed Susan that volunteered here. So I'm letting it just do its thing. Isn't it pretty with this purple or pink Achillea or Yarrow? Look at my Golden Celebration Rose. This is a David Austin rose in here. And then behind it, the lighter yellow, lemony yellow, that is a Graham Thomas rose. That was my very first David Austin rose. I got it somewhere, it was on discount, and I put it in here and it did so fabulously well. I was sold on David Austin roses. So I continued to buy more, and I have several now. So along here, like I said, I got this all set up. I wanted to do all zinnias through here. I don't know. I went and put some in containers to start to see if I could get them started instead of just direct sowing. Usually I direct sow because I do so well, but this year, those bugs are just little tyrants. So here, this is my Hyde Hall. This is a David Austin rose. There's 2 in this barrel. And you can see it's just full of buds and doing gorgeous. Now this is Darcy Bucell and LD Braithwaite. There's 2 different red roses in there, both David Austin roses. And then there's one in the ground too, but they're all doing beautifully well. I had to give this one a really good hard trim. It didn't look like it was doing well, but I found the water drip wasn't secured and it wasn't dripping well enough. So I've cleared out this section and I haven't decided exactly what to put in here. Back there is a Beverly Rose. That's supposed to be a super grower, an excellent, beautiful, tough rose. I love flowers that are tough. So here's some Echinacea that seeded themselves here, doing beautifully. I had some white ones in here, and I'm hoping that they have returned. I had White Swan, and I have some Powwow White. I really like the Powwow White. I want to grow more from seed. So I'm sharing over here. This is the fire ring filled with soil, and I put petunias in it as well as my Olivia Austin roses. Those are usually a darker pink. They came out a much paler pink this time, but I know they will, as they grow and become healthier, they will be a much darker pink. So let's see, my new acquisitions. This is Cat's Meow Nepeta. It's a Proven Winners selection. It gets 2 feet, I think it said, 18 inches to 2 feet tall. So this is beautiful right here for it. Tough as nails for me. I love the Cat's Pajamas, which stays smaller, and it does well for me, and it starts blooming very early. This one will bloom a little bit later, but will, as long as I keep shearing it back, it will continue to bloom. Now, I have tons of daisies, but I wanted to try these. These are Proven Winners Daisy May, and it's supposed to bloom longer than the regular ones I grow. I have crazy daisies, which are real fluffy. I have the Aglaia daisy over there that's very fluffy, but I wanted to give these a try. So these are going to go right here beside this barrel and in this bit. And then here's the barrel I showed you. I planted up with some petunias, and there's my rescue petunia in there doing beautifully. I love the little petite flowers with the pink center. It goes so well with the salmon vein petunias. And then Glamis Castle. This is another David Austin variety. Just beautiful, isn't it? And behind it is Iceberg. Now this one was supposed to be the bush iceberg, but look, this thing is sending out tall shoots. So I don't know, since I wanted more compact ones in the barrels, I may dig this up and put it out in the garden somewhere. Not right now, that'll probably in the fall. But back in here, I've planted Crazy Daisy. You got to pull up that fern and to go in there. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you. Last year I had this Black-Eyed Susan vine and loved it. See, it's back there, and I'm going to have it climb up that piece of wire up to the fence. And I got to make sure I give it a good watering, but it just grew rampantly last year for me, and I loved it, so I wanted to get another. And I took cuttings off of it, and I'll share that in another video. I'm going to back up a little bit so I can show you my arbor. The sun's coming through, so it might be a lot of backlight. But look, here's the clematis I put on here. This is, Etoile Violet. I'll put the name up on the screen. I'll have to go look it up. I got it at Brushwood Nurseries, but it's supposed to be one that blooms frequently through the summer, not just the one time. But look, just my gorgeous, gorgeous Eden Rose climbing over the arbor. Look at this one down here, peeking out from the ferns. I know, isn't that gorgeous? Now here's the matching barrel on this side. And it has the same petunias, but it has, this is, ooh, I'll remember the rose in a minute. It's another pink, beautiful rose. I have a lot of pink roses. But down here's where I put the other Nepeta. And then the daisy, I'm gonna have to move this rose to put that daisy in here where I want it to match the other side. That's okay, this rose kind of flops into the path anyway, so I need to move it. That is Anne Boleyn rose. Eglantine, that's what that one in back there is. I knew I'd remember. This is one of my favorite ground cover roses. This is Petal Pusher. This thing blooms nonstop all summer long. It stays very petite. I think I have two in there next to each other, but it just is beautiful. Look at that. That is my black lace elderberry. It's growing so tall here. I'm thinking I'm going to move it this fall. I have another spot I would rather have it because I have also a limelight hydrangea in there, and it's being swamped by this. And this grows so fast. There's an area down by my studio patio that I would like this, and as well as it's swamping out my phlox back there. But sometimes you just have to try things out. There is my Queen Elizabeth Rose. It was a rescue from Lowe's. I think I paid $5 for it. And I had one in the past, loved it, and I think the gophers ate the roots, but it's already taken off back there. I think it'll be beautiful up against my fence. Look at this. I just can't get over how gorgeous these are. Blowing in the breeze. It goes so beautifully with the Eden Rose. Just gorgeous. Now that is about 3 years old, that clematis. So over there you see some roses coming up. Got some delphinium getting ready to go. I have a Zinfandel Hydrangea right there, getting ready to bloom. Look at these Eryngiums. This is sea holly. I didn't know they got this tall. I guess I should have looked at the package better. So I need to stake them up a little bit so they don't flop down into the path. But I have more in here. I may move them because I think that's such a big bushy plant that I don't need several in here. But I have some Yarrow. More of the Yarrow. They will continue through the summer. And there's my European Rose. Things are really getting popping here. That is my other Menarda. See how tall that is? I think that's the red, Jacob Klein. I have a purple that I had over here too. I don't know if I put it up there though. Purple Rooster is the other one I have. And here's my butterfly bush. This thing almost got killed with those late freezes, so it's finally making its comeback. But you can see the little piece of the soaker hose. That's what I had in here before. This is coming out, and as I put in the new drip hoses. But, oh, and here's a volunteer Verbena bonariensis. You see how much taller that one is than the one I had over there? The other one was not even a foot tall. But I love how the butterflies absolutely love it. So this area down here is still kind of weedy, but I'm getting to it. Look at those larkspur over there. Those, I threw the seeds there and they just took off. Hummingbirds love those things, so it's a hint if you want to attract hummingbirds, plant some larkspur. All the irises are done, of course, and I'm thinning them out so that they can remain healthy. I planted some petunias along this wall. They were starting to be eaten. You can see the white powder I put down by the roly-polies. It wasn't slugs this time, it was roly-polies, so I got to get them taken care of. This is the patch of iris I need to thin out. I'll move a bunch of them too. That way I could have some lower growing plants along here so they don't obscure my other fire ring. That's the Olivia Austin Rose that I nearly lost. You see how it's recovering after putting in here, protecting it? Those are the ones that got froze back really hard. Stop. Begin. So over here, this is another one. This one is the lemon something, or it's a yellow of the Proven Winners Daisies. It starts a creamy yellow, banana cream too. Sorry for my shadow, and then it turns white, but that is lovely. It's done very well, and it's bloomed from the time I planted it. Down in there I have, what is that? Other than the weed thing. Here, let me move that out. This is a Veronica. Okay, another Veronica. Perfectly Picasso, so that should put up some blue or purple spikes. Let me see, what does it says? Oh, it doesn't say what color it is, but probably, and it'll be perfect to go with this banana cream. And I have a weed. I can't help but pull it while I'm here. Okay. Anyways, you can see it's still a work in progress, but how far it's come along. The sun's coming over the trees, and you can see my hose is all laid out here. My bobo hydrangeas seem to be doing a bit better this year as far as stocking, getting more stocky. They've been so floppy the last few years, I was really going to move them. But I gave them a hard prune this year, and hopefully they will do well. I don't think they get enough sun here to really bloom well, but we'll see. Sounds like a lot of traffic going on in the neighborhood. I'm clearing out down there. I got a lot of the rose campion pulled up, but it's kind of dark back there, huh? I don't know if you could see. In my little screen, it's not showing very well over there, but I can go along the street side and show you that side. This is up by my fence. Look at this, is a ground cover rose that I decided to put an obelisk up and let it climb up because it had these 6-foot canes it throws out. So I was giving it a chance to shine. I need to tie it up more. It's coming out here into the driveway, but the deer leave this alone. I don't know what they don't like about it. It's pretty spiky, but I don't know, they just don't bother it. And here's a black-eyed Susan vine, or not vine, black-eyed Susan, brown-eyed Susan. There is my Roseanne Hearty Geranium. That thing just goes crazy, and it blooms all summer long. My pile of compost, that's what I mulch with and turn into my potting soil. And there's a wave petunia down there. Looks like it needs some water. This is my Kirsten Polson rose. It's a single, it's a vintage rose. Let's go past my shovel here. And it's really suffered from, a lot of my roses did, powdery mildew this year. But I think now that the summer weather has really returned in earnest, then it will clear up. I do have some rose care. I spray as little as possible and try to let them tough it out, because they will develop a resistance to it if you let them tough it out sometimes. I'm not one that has to have just pretty flowers. I want them to be tough. I have a delphinium down here that I need to stake up. I need to also cut back some of the stuff so that it gets more sun. My Zinfandel Hydrangea is starting to put on some buds, which is good. I've seen some 4 bucks that hang around here. I need to spray it so they don't eat it. Here's a yarrow I need to tie up. It's flopping, or just cut off the ones that are flopping. These daisies are about to go. That's my European rose from the backside. I have that obelisk there because it wants to throw up these long canes as well, and they tend to flop. Down here is one of my favorite hardy geraniums. This one's called Elky. It does stay more compact than others that just really, like the Roseanne gets really long. This one stays a little smaller and more in a bush shape rather than these long tendrils. This is my grandmother's hat rose. It looks like I need to cut Elky back so that she doesn't get too swamped by it. And here's the other side. The Menarda really seem to be doing good this year. I'm shocked because they usually like a lot more water. Here's a volunteer coreopsis. That's just blooming away there. I need to deadhead it so it keeps blooming. And a rose campion. And here's the side of my butterfly bush. Over here, this is Happy Chappie Rose. This is a ground cover rose. I've been trying to dig out around it because this tall grass is really rooted. But isn't that pretty? It just blooms and blooms all summer with those pretty colors, and it fades so it looks like it has all different colors on it. This is my new section I've been putting in this year. I had put some bargain plants in I got from Lowe's. This was, what is it, Rockin' Fuchsia. That was a proven winner, but it just didn't make it through the winter there. So I did plant some Echinacea. I did this Echinacea from seed. I winter sowed. Ooh, look, there's another, what is that? I think that's the same as that other one, but a different color. This one is called Verbascum Phoenician Violetta. Look, that thing's gonna bloom. It's got some pretty blooms on it, and I see it flop down, so I need to stake that up. This is a pretty poppy that's supposed to continually bloom. It's got pretty orange, so it'll be a really good contrast with that violet. I see some seeds. I wanted to let it go to seed. Might cut back half the seed pods, and then that it will encourage it to bloom more. I have a crazy daisy I planted right there from seed. So I can see a lot of things in here. I'm just slowly building this bed. Volunteer, Black-Eyed Susan, a lot of things I'll let volunteer and seed where they like. Like, look at this massive larkspur. Isn't that gorgeous? It's obscuring other things, but I'm letting it go. I have lavender in here that's really being hidden. This is a sedum that is just really beautiful. And it fills in. I can see a piece of weed in there. And it takes the dry, but it can get quite rampant. Could you see I have another line of rocks back there? That's so I can keep that sedum in check. I don't want it to go into the bed. And I'll just come along with my shears and trim it off along that rock edging. A lot of times I'll use bricks for that. You could also get, there's like different types of edging. I would love to get the metal edging that you just poke in the ground. So down here, this is my Valerian. I had divided the one I have over there and planted it right here. For me, this is also called Jupiter's Beard, and it blooms all summer. See right here, it's going to seed. I'll cut that back, and that'll encourage more blooms. I'll deadhead it. So let me look in here. I'll show you. I have a rose. Let me step in here. My Firefighter Rose. Yeah, we had a fire start not too far away last night. Fortunately, I think they've gotten it out because there's no smoke today, but it was scary for a little bit. But there's my Firefighter Rose. I have it in a pot so that the gophers don't eat it. But it seems to like it here. It's done better here than anywhere else. This is a hybrid tea. Hybrid teas don't do well for me in my climate. But my husband had bought this for me, and it is such a fragrant rose. Now, I've left it behind this larkspur. Excuse me while I step back. Because the deer don't seem to like to eat the larkspur, but they love to eat that rose. But they won't go past the larkspur. Look at this gorgeous, I know I'm no longer the front, and I should go back, but isn't that thing just fabulous? This one is Supernova from Brushwood Nurseries. Look at that thing. And the rose is my Tess. I have a whole video on me planting them in these barrels. And they're doing great. I need to feed it. Today's feeding day. So I really should get to it. Oh, I want to show you this too. I just cannot resist. Look at this thing. This is my Bosco Bell. Now it's in a pot down here, kind of an ugly pot. And so I want to get a barrel, another wine barrel, half wine barrel, to put here and put it in. I'll transfer it this next fall so that it has a pretty barrel to be in. So that, my friends, is a little bit of my side garden with my front garden. You see the sun starting to shine on it. But there we are, how far we've come. My pond area, I'm still working on it. But anyways. So that, my friends, is my front garden tour. I hope you enjoyed seeing the update and how it's coming along, and seeing how it can take the Lone Ranger, me, that's all that is working out here to get things done. This is this is the first week of July, and you can see where it's gotten to. Now, one thing about this, all of these things I am putting in, except for the zinnias, are perennials, and they will come back. And even the lollipop bonariensis, it will reseed, and I'm hoping to put more in other areas because I need some lower growing stuff. Anyways, so I will update you again probably the beginning of August, and we'll see where the garden is at then, what's blooming, what I've moved, etc. And I hope you join me in my next video. Bye.